Hi and welcome to the Geek and Hermit. This is our review of Mindjack, which I'm afraid is officially the worst game I have ever had the displeasure of playing in my entire life. But before I carry on explaining exactly why, I just want to talk a little bit about the game, so you've got an idea before I then shoot it down in flames. So it's yet another third-person shooter set in the near future this time, so it has a sci-fi feel to it, with the whole premise of the game being that you can jump out of your body and then directly control somebody else's body, hence the name Mindhack or Mindjack. It's actually a very good mechanic. It's about one of the only good things in this game, and that's pretty much all it does well, I'm afraid. So on the very basic level is, what it means is when you damage an enemy to a certain extent, you'll see a little icon above the heads, and you can then lob a blue ball at them. There's some technical name for it, I'm sure, but blue ball works easier. They'll then fight for you, basically, until the death, which is actually quite funny. In this case, you can have a little army of little blue monkeys running around for you. There's an extension to that later on, where you can actually damage, say, human soldiers to a certain extent, control them, and then actually take direct control, leap out of your body, and then take control of them yourself. Which is very handy, actually, for just whittling down the opposition, just because, let's face it, even if you get killed, you've done yourself a favour. You can also, there are civilians dotted throughout the levels, and you can leave your body and jump into theirs. For some reason they then pull a pistol or a shotgun out of God only knows where, and then start running around, but don't question it. But with this game, as you can see, it's just littered with errors, bugs, and other problems. AI pathfinding is horrific. Half the time, if you get shot and you fall over, the idea is your partner's supposed to then come over to help get you back up again. In this game, it's kind of like 9 times out of 10 they'll completely ignore you and go about the business. And so what you then have to do is go and control a civilian, run over to your body, get yourself up, then jump back to your original body. And it gets irritating as hell in certain boss battles and everything, which you will go down quite a lot sometimes. The cutscenes in the game aren't too bad, but they still look a bit, the colours look a bit washed out, as you can see. The voice acting is mediocre, I think is the best word I can use. I don't know, it's just like Sunday school voice actors they seem to have for it. The plotting, you may get better later on, but here for instance, I've no idea who the guy is. I've just killed who she is, or even who I am, to be honest. But I've got to hold my hands up. I got about 4 hours into this game, maybe 5, and I just lost the will to live. I couldn't finish it, I'm sorry. If I'd paid £40 for this game, I would have to be on the phone to Samaritans, probably on the edge of a bridge about to jump off. How a game like this gets released in this day and age for 40 quid, I don't know. If they'd have done the decent thing and released it on day one as 20 quid, maybe they could get away with it. I mean, it's still a hefty price for what it is, but 40 quid, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure I could really recommend this to anyone, to be honest. Another good point of the game, I've got to say actually, is the fact that when you play it online, you can actually jump into someone else's game and start working as one of the enemies and do your best to take down the main person in the game. It's actually quite fun, and also in reverse they can do it to you if you select the option to. There is actually a multiplayer component, but it's just your typical deathmatch sort of thing. It's not very good, but the hacking into each other's games, I thought that was very clever, I've got to say. Other than that, I just wouldn't recommend it unless you're into self-harm or you're just morbidly curious like I was with this. I don't know. Even the fun parts like this, for instance, like, oh great, something interesting's happened. You then come up against a wall of boxes and then can't continue any further. It's like, you think you're having fun? No, you're not. I just think it's a great shame though. So bearing everything in mind, I'd have to give the game a point for the whole mechanic, because it is interesting, it just doesn't work very well. I'd have to give this game a 1.5 out of 10. But the only thing I actually do think this game is good for is, you'll see in a second. And that's all I have to say about that, really. So avoid it like the plague. Thanks for watching, people. See you next time.